I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. See, we was cool right before.
Hi, we're Harris Academy Clapham. I'm Mattis, and I'm year 8.
I'm Jamari, and I'm year 7.
I'm TK, and I'm in year 9.
And I'm Stephanie, and I am the interviewee today.
Yeah, today, hopefully, we're going to be talking about youth violence against girls and women specifically. So, first, I have a question. Miss, in general, do you think that girls are more target than boys?
I would say because it's, most everything is a male-dominated world. So yes, we are the targets. We're the ones told to make ourselves smaller, make ourselves pretty, attractive. We're the ones told to protect ourselves when we're out and about. When I was growing up, it was, being told not to go out late at night. If I was out and about, I was given a thing called it was like a, can I say the word? Rape. It's called a rape whistle. So we were given one of those. I remember clearly being given one of those when I was 13 to put on my keychain. And I was supposed to carry that with me everywhere I went, and it would make a ear-piercing noise. I was told mainly to, even down to the way that I dressed. Growing up, I looked a lot older than the age that I was, so I had to be careful how I dressed and the areas that I went to. But that did not stop the threat of violence or unwanted attention.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys got, as boys, what do you guys think about it?
As boys, I feel like it's got better from past, but it's still bad. But I feel like it's been getting better.
Can I disagree? I just feel like it's more, we're more aware because we have social media, and a lot of people are more confident in sharing their thoughts and ideas. For instance, you have Andrew Tate, who likes to tell people tell women what to do and tell men how to get the attention of women, how to sort of get them to do what he wants. And he talks about manipulating them blatantly. You have people like that now with a platform. Kevin Samuels is another one. I would say R.I.P., but and then you've got other Dr. Umar as well, quite prevalent within the black community, who like to tell people what to do and how to act, how to treat women, and how women should be treated, and how women should act. And I feel as though we should be telling both how to act and how to respect one another.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I think at the end of the day, it doesn't depend on what you're saying. It depends on who you are and what type of background you have and how people view you. Because if a famous person and a stranger said the same thing, people would, if they said something like race, if they said something against women, for example, the stranger would get a lot of hate, but the famous person, they would kind of try to see their point, even though there is no point.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it just depends on who's saying it. I think everybody should just be more careful what they do and what they say, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's not fair for anybody at all.
The saying no means no. How would you approach it if you said no, but the man still won't listen?
Unfortunately, I have found myself in situations like that, without getting too personal, and it's frightening. You're telling someone no, and they are totally disregarding your needs and the fact that you're scared. And you feel very vulnerable, and you're taken advantage of. And then you kind of feel like you can't share it with anybody else. So you keep it to yourself. And if there is, anyone that has experienced that, they worry about how it will be perceived by other people, because usually if somebody says, well, why didn't you fight them off, and why didn't you tell somebody sooner, it is the fear of not being believed, or they victim blame instead and say, well, you should have done more. But nobody knows how they're going to react in that situation. Your body will just completely shut down. You don't know what you're going to do. So regardless of you saying no, you can say no, obviously, but it's, if they've already made up their mind that they're going to go further, there's not much else you can do about it.
That's crazy, because like even nowadays, rape, sexual assault, even assault in general, it's more common in girls and women than it is boys, because girls are seen as more like small and little, while boys and men are seen as more dominant and bigger. So it's like they instantly know that the men are on top of the women, and it's just like it's like not fair at all, because the women, they feel like they can't do anything because society already has the view that men are like on top.
Yeah, like they're supposed to, we're just supposed to be an ornament or a trophy, or we're just supposed to sit there and be quiet and not say anything and just look pretty, and you kind of just, it's something for me, I want to fight for the ability to do that, to do what I want to do, if it makes me happy, regardless of what anybody else thinks. I'm quite fortunate that I have a husband that supports me quite well, and is really encouraging anything that I want to do, and in turn does that for our daughters. So when you do find that support, or if you're able to give it to somebody else, it's priceless.
Yeah. So, guys, because as boys, like, how do you guys think, like, when you see, if you've ever experienced or if you've ever seen like girls getting like assaulted or anything, like, how do you guys think it affects you guys as well?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I think it affects like boys and men in general. Like we get the name as like people think like, some people think like all boys are just here to, what's it called, find girls, rape them, stuff like that. But like for some people think that.
I just think like girls say like all guys are the same, but we all have different minds. This is our podcast. We've been Harris Academy in Clapham. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, and my name's Shayon.
Hello, my name's Rawan.
I'm Shanae.
My name's Rachel. So, hi guys. I'm here today just to obviously speak to you about the impact of knife violence. So my nephew was stabbed 2 years ago when he was 17 in an area called Mitesfield in Brixton. He was stabbed 5 times, and as a result of the stabbing, he lost a lot of blood, and he actually clinically died for about 45 minutes. And as a result of that, he's ended up in a wheelchair because his brain basically shut down. So for me, the impact of knife violence, is quite great for our family. We're still healing from it. And I just really want to discuss with you guys about, knife violence and the impact it has on you guys when you hear about situations and incidents that's been happening.
Oh, I really think about like the experience you have to go through. Like in the moment, there's people around you, or you're probably by yourself, and then you're just getting stabbed. You don't know which place is, and even if you scream for help, you just might not make it. Like it's an experience that you just can't take at once. It's too much for you to handle.
And I feel like it's not just yourself or the person who's getting stabbed, it's also like your family, your friends that have to go through like the healing, like you said, like for however long. And obviously like your nephew's in a wheelchair, that's lifelong, right? So like, is there any like time where you stop healing, or do you, like, yeah?
I think healing is an ongoing journey. And for us, when it first happened, it was an instant shock. Because for us, you know, he wasn't in a gang. He was a good kid. He was studying, working. He used to look after my daughter. So it was quite a big shock to us. But then equally, it was like, why has it happened? Why did they come to the area? Why did they pick him? And the boys who did it, they're in prison now. We went through the whole trial, and I think the healing started again when we went to the trial and we saw the boys who actually did it. And my nephew saw the boys who attacked him as well. So I think healing is just an ongoing journey. And I think as a community, and when I say community, I mean the whole community, like young people, old people, emergency services, everyone who is impacted by this, we all have to start healing from this and start looking at ways we can tackle it and speak about it quite honestly and openly. Because I think for me, I can tell young people, you know, I don't want you in a gang, I don't want you doing this. But a lot of young people's reality is different to mine. You know, it's just like getting up. I get up and go to work every day without even thinking about which area I'm going into. But young people have to now navigate through like which area they're getting on the bus and, you know, travelling through. So I think for me, I just want to know from you guys, how do you cope in the world today with everything that's going on?
I feel like as a young girl, I have to be careful of where I'm going and like who I'm around, because I could be seen as vulnerable to anyone.
As a police officer, do you find it more scary that it's a relative, as one of your nephews, who's the one that got hurt? Because like if you're probably out in the streets and you figured out that something happened to another kid, does it affect you more that it's your nephew?
So just for clarification, I'm not a police officer. I'm actually police staff. I know people just automatically hear police. So I think for me, it was a big shock that it happened to my nephew, but because of the profession I'm in, it can happen to anyone. And I think for me, I get the message across to parents and to young people that you can be purely innocent, just walking down the road, minding your business, and an incident happens, and you could potentially lose your life. It affected me greatly because, yes, he's my nephew. And I think for me, the first 6 months of his recovery journey, he was in hospital. He was in a vegetative state, so that's like a coma. Like, he couldn't do anything. So we had to do everything for him. He was fed by a peg, goes in, from his nose into his stomach, and then he got changed into like a feeding tube into his stomach. So literally all of his personal care. So imagine, you know, you guys wake up, you get up, you jump out of bed, you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you put your aftershave on, your lip gloss, you're looking nice. He didn't do that. We had to do that for him. And then when he started to wake up and like looking at us, he didn't recognize us. And that was heartbreaking. So I think the fact that it's happened to my nephew, I can now see it from both perspectives, from my professional world and a personal perspective. And it did break me. For a while I wasn't in the best place and I just kept on questioning things. But I think now I'm in a position to create change and get the whole community galvanized together to really try and look at ways how we can think outside the box and tackle the issue around knife crime and knife violence.
Yeah, like near where I live, like I live in a very dangerous estate, and like nearly every day there's people screaming and stuff. There's loads of gang violence, and like I'm so scared to even go sleep. I just think that somebody will break into my house, a gang member from a different side of where I live, and then because like I have a stepdad that's like he hasn't been in a gang before, but he knows loads of gang members and he hangs around where loads of gang members are. He doesn't want to be in a gang because he has kids and stuff, but now when I like he got caught like and he went to jail because he got caught with like illegal stuff, and now when he came out there was loads of gang members threatening him. Some of them found his phone number, was like, watch, if I find where you live, blah blah blah, I'll kill everyone that's in your thing. Because like when I was supposed to go sleep, but I stayed up because I couldn't sleep, and
my mom's room is next to mine, and I heard the phone call. There was like, if I find where you live, blah blah blah, I'm gonna come to your house and stuff. And then I couldn't go sleep. I was so scared. Like I had a nightmare about it. I couldn't sleep. I started crying. I was like, why is this my life? I don't want this to happen to me. And now we're near this school. There's a gang as well, nearly up the road where I take the bus, and I'm just scared to go there sometimes. But sometimes it's a shortcut to go to my house. But I'm like, every time one of my friends say, "Oh, come and walk through here," blah, blah, I'm like, no, I don't want to, because what's happened bad happens to us. And I think a couple of weeks ago, somebody from the school got robbed by that gang. So I'm so scared to go there. Like, every time I go past that, I'll stay on the bus. I have to go straight, and then I have to take another bus down to Brixton. But that could be a quicker way. So yeah, it's just so.
For me, it breaks my heart hearing you say that, and thank you for sharing that, because that's very personal. It takes a community, and you know, when I was growing up, it was a village. That's the concept. It was a village mentality. We all come together and we all help. And somewhere along the way, we've lost that. No one looks out for each other. Everyone's out for their own. The care's not there. And I think for me, you know, the generational impact of gangs that it has on communities is so great. And probably your mum and stepdad probably don't even realise you're feeling like this and going through this. And I think as a mother, I would want my child to come and tell me these things. But then equally, I don't understand the world today because it's a completely different environment to how I've grown up in. And I think it starts with the home. It starts with having those honest conversations and be like, you know what, mum? I heard the conversation. I know I shouldn't be eavesdropping, because I know elders would be like, don't eavesdrop at my team. I know it. But I think for me, if you don't have those conversations from the home, it festers outside. And, you know, going to prison, I worked in a prison, and I've seen the impact it has on people when they're trying to come out and reintegrate back into life. It's very, very hard. And sometimes you can't change that lifestyle. You can't, you know, say sorry to the people that you hurt. But when do we draw, you know, a line in the sand? When do we just stop this and be like, right, it's happened. We all, as a community, need to move on. Because I've always said, you know, my nephew James, he's a victim of a broken society, and we all need to repair and heal from what's happened. And, you know, a lot of people could have gone and sought justice in their own way, like street justice. And I was adamant, I don't want that. And it's not just because I work for the police I'm saying this. I'm saying it as a person, as a woman, a black woman. I don't want destruction in the community, because it wasn't just black boys that did this to my nephew. It was a range of people. So as a society, we do have a problem. And I think also we need to look at the mental health impacts that it has. The fact that you couldn't go to sleep, that would have an impact when you're coming into school and trying to learn your lessons. You're not going to focus because you're thinking of that. The boys and the gangs that's in the area, you know, that's not being addressed. How do we keep you guys from feeling safe when you're going to and from school? So, you know, the teachers need to be aware of that. And like, do you express that to your teachers? Sometimes you may not feel comfortable. So I think for me, the message I want to really give is just start to open the conversation, and just seek where we can get help from each other within the community. Thank you for listening.
Hi, welcome to the Harris Clapham podcast. My name's Daneo.
My name's Kasim.
Janea.
Rodrigo.
And we're going to be talking about knife crime, violence against women, and just gangs in general.
Why do you think gangs beef each other?
Because they're fighting for territory,
They might be fighting for their life.
Fighting for places to sleep.
fighting to have money to live.
Cool. You want to ask a question now?
How do you feel towards knife crime?
It's stupid.
Yeah. I
Because
think
most of
it
the
is.
reasons for it, like, it's not worth it. Like, to use your life for it.
They're basically fighting over nonsense. They're fighting over basically respect. They're fighting over respect of the people to, like, so they can have authority over them.
They're fighting to have power over other people, saying that I've killed my man, killed not my man.
So next question, what do you think that gang's all about?
To, like, sometimes protection, because most of the time, like, your own people snake you out. So that's why you can't really trust nobody in the gang life, innit? It's about protecting or protection from people that might harm you.
I think obviously, if you get yourself into trouble or you're gonna get yourself into serious trouble or like anything even worse, that you're gonna try and find a way to defend yourself. And if you ask another person, they're not gonna back you because obviously, if they're involved, they're basically gonna be snaking themselves out.
It's a lifestyle people choose to live.
Yeah. So, have you guys experienced any approaches with gangs, knife crime, any assault against women?
Yeah, someone asked me if I knew someone that's from my area. So
Someone's
I did know them, but I said no because I knew what I was gonna do. Someone's asked me if I wanted money, and then they said that they have to pay them back.
What'd you say?
No.
Okay.
You sure? Yes.
I see you £60 the other day.
How'd you get the money to buy the T1M?
Off topic.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about violence against women?
It's bad and stupid because like, what has a woman done to you?
Maybe they didn't make their dinner.
There's chicken shots for a reason.
Just eat.
I think it's just the perception of people, how they view others. Because if you don't respect someone, then you're not going to treat them well.
Like maybe they're taking advantage of a woman's strength to like make them do stuff that they don't want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you very much for listening to the Harris Clapham podcast. Bye.
In a bit.
Danae signing out.